Good morning, fam. It's Monday the 27th. Clearly, I'm gone today, and I'm going to be gone all week, actually. So before we kind of get started, I think everybody knows my expectations, and I need you all to do a really good job for me this week. I need you to be on your best behavior, be as helpful as you can to Mr. Albertson. Listen carefully to the instructions and just use your time really, really wisely. I know spring break is around the corner. We're all excited for that, but we need to finish this week really, really strong. I will be back next week to see you before spring break. So please do me that favor, and I would really appreciate it. Make sure you have your U.S. Studies notebook out because you're going to need that. You clearly already have your Chromebook out, but those are the things that you'll need for the next few days. So what we're going to do today, and really what we're going to do, I think for at least 3 days, is this. We're going to analyze events that happened in Cuba in the late 1800s so we can determine the motivations for the United States to get involved in the Spanish-American War. So today you're going to do a pre-assessment, then you're going to work on some vocab, and then you're going to start a web quest on the Spanish-American War. That web quest ought to take you a few days. The pre-assessment is some special directions, so please listen carefully. You're going to go to Socrative.com, and the room ID is still Edmondson 8, but I need you to enter your name differently this time. Please put your period number first, then a space, and then your last name, comma, first name. So please do it in that order. It allows me to keep everything organized. So period number first, so first period's a 1, eighth period's an 8, and you get that. Do that. Space, then your last name, and then your first name. Do that. This is the one, it's a pre-assessment, so no matter what you get, you have to take it again as a formative when I get back next week. So please do that now. Go ahead and pause the video and do that now. Now that you've done with the pre-assessment, I need you to look up, or I need you to set up your notebook. And it's just same format. Chapter 20, Spanish-American War, and then your name, please. Pause the video while you do that. And here's the vocab terms now that I need you to look. And you do it all on that same page. There's 7 terms: imperialism, yellow journalism, mass media, USS Maine, resolution, Rough Riders, and Anti-Imperialist League. Please use your textbook for that. You can use a hard copy that are over along the side, or they might be in your desk, or you can get online and use the online version as well. It doesn't matter to me. I just like the fact that their definitions are targeted for what we need to know, so I want to make sure you use those. Please do that now. Pause it. When you're done with the vocab, come back and finish watching. Okay, so a couple things I want to talk about real quick before we get to the web quest. In America, we have this debate kind of when is it appropriate? When should we send troops to foreign places to fight and possibly die? Okay, and so these are some of the choices that we have. These might not be all of them, and you might not agree with any of them. That's up to you. But these are just some of the things that come up over time. So the first one is to assist an ally of the United States. If we say we will have an alliance with somebody, if we'll do something along with them, this might be a time to do it. We might send soldiers to protect territories that's close to our borders. I think it's easy to say we'll protect our own borders, of course, but what about something really close to our own borders? Would we be willing to send troops there? Would we be willing to send troops to stop human rights abuses? We talked in many classes last Friday about genocide and ethnic cleansing and those kinds of things. Are we willing to send troops to stop those things? Would we send troops to acquire resources, like if we need something? Perhaps it's oil, perhaps it's coal, perhaps it's gold, something like that. But would we be willing to send troops for that? Do we want to just flat out gain power, control more stuff? We might send troops somewhere to do that. To acquire territory, to actually take control of land, might be a reason to send some troops. To improve our national security, if we feel there's a threat someplace, would we consider sending troops? You know, we think about North Korea today. We can debate on how much of a threat they truly are, but if we feel that they are a national security threat, would we send troops there to take out take out their missile program or their government even to just make ourselves feel safer? Would we send troops to spread or protect American values and moral beliefs? That's always one of those, right? If you're thinking of idealism in foreign policy, this would certainly be that. Okay. To fight against tyrannical governments. So if there is a brutal dictator somewhere in the world, would we send troops to take out that government, to take out that person? And then the last choice really is, under no circumstances is it ever appropriate. There are people who think that in this country who think that we should never send our soldiers to fight and face death on foreign soil. That we should have, really a military designed to protect our country only, and going somewhere else with them is never anything that we should do. So those are all legitimate opinions. I mean, those are all things that people think and opinions that people hold, and you kind of need to decide what you believe. This is kind of a your opinion thing, okay? But these all kind of lead into our discussion, our chapter on Spanish-American War. So what I need you to do is to go to the Spanish-American War web quest. It's the link I have on Google Classroom below this video. You're going to use your own notebook to answer the questions. You will not log into their online notebook. That only allows like 15 users, and it just won't work. You're going to have to use your own notebooks. You're going to have to write out your answers by hand. Okay? You've got a lot of things to do. You have to watch a video and complete a warm-up activity on the first page. You've got to analyze 7 sources. You need to conduct your own research, and then you're going to write an essay. So if we were to take a look at it, here's the page. You can watch this little video. I think it's a couple minutes long. Don't worry about reviewing your textbook, but I want you to go to the warm-up activity and take a look at that. It's analyzing some sources. Here's kind of the timeline you can take a look at. It's just got a few things in it. It's not very detailed, but that's okay. Then you're going to go up here to the inquiry part of it, and you can see for the inquiry, you've got all these sources here that you need to take a look at. You're going to read the source, and then you're going to come over here, and here's some vocab so you know what they're talking about, and here's some questions for you to answer in your notebook for each source. So you always need to click on the questions, and you need to answer these in your notebook. And like I said, there are 7 of them. Each one of them is similar in the fact that there's vocab, there's a document, and there's questions to answer along the side. So make sure you get all of those done. When you get done with that, when you get done with all 7 of these, you're going to, you can proceed to the assignment here or just click up here. It doesn't matter to me which one. But you will see here that there is your essay that you'll need to write. And I want you to do that in your notebook. So here's your resources, your questions. Just follow the directions. They're all pretty clear on that. Then lastly, you'll go into the web quest. Here it's going to give you a website to go to. You can just you follow the directions, enter 1898 for a keyword and click the button. And then just follow the directions here. And what I want you to do is just follow the directions. I want you to dig around in some primary sources. I would like you to stay up in the alternative 1, why the United States invaded Cuba in 1898. We'll get down to the Philippines after spring break. We'll talk about the Philippines and what we do there. So just stay in Cuba and do alternative number 1 for that. Okay, that'll be the web quest. That ought to take you 3 days, pretty solid. I've given instructions to Mr. Albertson so he knows my rule that if you work hard and use your time wisely, then I'll give you more time. And I instructed him to do the same thing. But you got to use your time wisely. That's all there is to it. If you mess around, if a bunch of people are off task, then it'll just be done. And you'll notice here that your efforts on the web quest will be graded. This will be worth points in the grade book. So I want you to take it seriously, and I want you to do a really good job, because when I get back next week, we're going to start assessing on this stuff. So we're not waiting for Mr. Evanson to come back to kind of make sense of it all. Like, you're responsible for this information, and you're going to have to be ready to take an assessment next week when we get back. And there'll be more instructions about that as the week goes on. But this is where we're at, okay? Like I said, I'm going to be gone all week. I need you to do a really good job for me. I expect you to do a really good job for me. I expect you to work really, really hard. If you have any questions, you can ask Mr. Albertson, and he will answer them. He's a great guy. He actually was one of my teachers when I was your age, so I know that firsthand. So thanks, fam. I love you guys, and I appreciate your efforts, and I will talk to you very, very soon.